Hello everyone, I am PyroFalkon and this is Monster Rancher. In the last episode, Bumwiggles suffered his first loss, but he didn't do too bad, so I'm having to give him one of the defensive skills now, and I'm going to pick speed. So we're going to raise him similar to what all, quote-unquote, all the experts say, where you need power, accuracy, and speed, or intelligence, accuracy, and speed, whichever is your offensive attribute. So, there you go. I was also sort of desperate for topics. So, I went ahead and went into my topics list that I have on my phone to try to remember what the hell to talk about. God, his thighs are so massive. So I have a topic. It's just hard to smoothly segue into it, but here goes. So there was a book, a show. I can't remember where I found the original thing, but basically I was trying to improve my talking abilities, obviously because of the show. I mean, I want to do the absolute best I can on the show. And there are tricks and techniques that work, and there are tricks and techniques that don't work. It doesn't mean I'm manipulating or trying to otherwise change who I am. The PyroFalkon is not really a persona, it's a pseudonym. Although there is the hashtags and all that kind of nonsense, I'm probably a lot less pervy in real life. At least verbally pervy. Pretty pervy in my head. Anyway, my point is that, I'm just trying to be better at talking, because this does not come naturally to me. I've had to work hard and practice hard to get just to this point, and I'm nowhere near the AAA Let's Players or some of the people who talk for a living in other fields. Like, anytime I think I'm good at this job, I listen to Paul Heyman and World Wrestling Entertainment, and holy crap, Paul Heyman's ability to speak is on a whole other stratosphere from the crap I'm doing. It's amazing. And I'm trying to learn that, just trying to be a better presenter for you. So, in that vein, I read a tip somewhere that said if you really want to impress somebody, especially at a job interview, you don't ask how someone is, especially meeting them for the first time. You have to know when to ask this question, but one of the best questions to ask someone new is what excites them. It's a better phrasing than, what are you interested in? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do for fun? Those are really kind of dry, and they're very cliche, and they're easy enough to answer, but they're also kind of enough to dodge. And it's also a question that's also in the vein of what do you do for a living, which is also very dry, and for people like me, there's a little bit of shame and embarrassment that comes from being a content creator, just because it's not exactly a job that's held in high esteem. So, and let's be honest, it's got a low bar of entry. So, Bumwiggles is big now. I just noticed that. He's a big ol' monster. He's probably ready for training courses now. Yeah, it's fine, Holly. I would prefer trying to get... power, life, and skill, right? Is that all that's available? No, intelligent life and skill. Ew. Never mind. So, the question you want to ask people the first time you meet them is what excites you. Because not only is that an interesting way to phrase it, but also you sort of get to the heart of the person by that. Because what can excite the person may not be the same as what they do for fun or what they do for a living. And I'm a good example of that. Because what do I do for a living? I'm a content creator and I'm a writer, which is it's interesting in its own way. But what do I do for fun? I play video games. So does every other human being on the planet, pretty much, at least those who were born after 1970. So, but the question, what excites me? That's just the question alone is exciting because it's not one that's usually asked. And I learned this, and I had never had a chance to try it out. And then last year, 2 years ago, because it was 2018, I met the Akamura's grandfather named Pap. And that was one of the first questions he asked me. He said, "What excites you?" And I found that very, very interesting. I had learned about the technique maybe less than a month before he asked me that question, so it was an interesting bit of coincidental timing, but it's a great thing to answer, and I think it's a great thing to think about too. So what excites you? Let me know in the comments below, because again, I think that's something that's different for everybody, and not necessarily something you would see on the face. Not even something that is going to be in their list of hobbies. My perfect example is flying. Like, all things considered, you remove everything else from the equation, you say money's no object, I want to fly. If money was no object and time was no object, and I could have anything I ever wanted, I would want my pilot's license, and I would want to start flying. I don't need to be a commercial pilot. I don't want to be a commercial pilot. I have no interest in flying jets or whatever. But I would love to learn how to fly a Cessna or a Beech and just go, That thing that's going around right now, that's not going to reach 2 miles up in the air when you're the only one who's in the cockpit. And there's a freedom to it, and the view, even though I'm afraid of heights, it's the weirdest thing. I am afraid of heights, but there's an illusion of safety when you have a plane around you, And if I'm in control of it, I know what the plane can and cannot do. So I love flying. I love the idea of flight and the freedom that it's got and the view and just everything about it is so cool. So when I flew to Chicago last year, I was a little nervous. I'm not really a nervous flyer, but there's a little bit of nervousness. Just it's the same nervousness that you get whenever you put your life in someone else's hands in that kind of sense. I would say there's nervousness whenever you get into the car when you don't know who the driver is. There's going to be a little bit of nervousness there. And so, although I'm not a nervous flyer, one thing that helps me be a non-nervous flyer is to remind myself of the things that can go wrong in an aircraft. Because if an engine for some reason, that seems to be the one that a lot of people jump to. What if an engine falls off? Well, the plane will glide. I mean, that doesn't mean you're going to... It doesn't mean you're going to be fine. It doesn't mean that the pilot is going to find the perfect landing spot and everyone's going to get off the plane with 0 bruises and 0 problems. Like, when Captain Sully had his incident out at JFK, I believe, and they had to land in the Hudson, that was extremely dangerous because they lost both engines. And they were going to have to put the plane down in the middle of the city, and they had no time to react otherwise. But when you're up in the air, especially when you're at cruise, and then you have a problem, you can glide. The plane does not just plummet. So by telling myself that kind of stuff, then the nervousness goes away, I mean, the only thing that could happen to a plane in the air is, if the entire wing fell off the plane, then everyone's screwed. But, that doesn't happen. The wing cannot just fall off. There would have to be some sort of... I just caught myself talking. Is this interesting at all? My entire point of the question was what excites me. Clearly, aircraft excite me, and planes, and flying. That's what excites me. Before I put everybody to sleep with my blathering. So, I mean, that's part of the reason why I mentioned in the last episode how excited I am for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and why I will still play the current Microsoft Flight Simulator, even though that game is 20 years old, and the graphics look like they're potato quality. I just like flying, man. So what excites you? What are you looking forward to? My one of my moderators, Squirrel Hog, is very excited about baseball season and football season, those two sports specifically. Oh, and NASCAR. How can I forget about NASCAR? You know, it's a level of passion that you don't have just doing your day-to-day activities. I mean, I like video games. I really enjoy Monster Rancher, and that I've actually made a sort of career out of playing it, but I don't get the same level of excitement raising bum wiggles here that I would if I could get my ass in a Cessna and go a mile up in the air, you know what I mean? So, yeah, let me know in the comments below what excites you. And if you don't have something that excites you, that sucks. I feel for you, and I hope you find something that does. There was a friend of mine who, because of this specific topic, I won't name him, but he was mentioning that he is very depressed lately, feels like he's experienced all that life has to offer, which is ridiculous because he's no older than I am. And he was saying that he feels like he has no emotions anymore because he's experienced all the emotions one can possibly experience. I'm like, that's fucking nihilistic and depressing to think about. I mean, excitement is there. You just have to look for it, man. You've got to find something that gets your jimmies a shaking. I don't know what I just said. I've watched too much Game Grumps. So, you know, and it could be something very new. If you don't have something, there's always something else around the corner that might be that thing. Maybe you can get excited over volleyball or planting corn or, I don't know, anything. Anything can be exciting. You just have to find it. And that's what'll keep you sane in the least sane times, like right now when everyone's going a little batty. You just find that thing that's exciting and try to do it as much as possible or learn about it. Like for even flying, like I know how a plane works in the sense of how different air pressures allow flight based on wings and angles and airflow and such like that. But to be an actual pilot, you have to learn all sorts of things and take all sorts of tests. And I mean, obviously, you don't want to put just some asshole behind the wheel of it or behind the yoke of a especially a bigger plane that can cause some damage, you know. So you have to learn all this stuff, and I could, if I wanted to, take the time to learn all that stuff, man. It'd be great. Especially when schools open back up. I have been introduced to the concept of auditing a class, which I did not know was a thing. Basically, when you audit a class in college, that means you attend the class, but you are under no obligation to work, but you're also under no obligation to pay. So, and most colleges will let you audit classes, because why not? I mean, it's just you pulling up an empty chair and listening to a guy speaking for a little while. So, you know, you will never get a degree out of it, but that's not the point. You don't need a degree to learn something you're passionate about. So once the schools start opening back up, I'm going to look into my nearest school, which is Wright State University, and see what they offer for auditing, because I would love to audit, say, a public speech class or an acting class or a class about certain sciences. I don't think Wright State would help me learn anything about flying, but it would certainly help me learn how to speak better, maybe give me insight to marketing better, which I need to do for the channel, so I actually have time to do it, which is what's really lucky. So yeah, that's the kind of thing that excites me. Self-improvement excites me. I want to self-improve. I want to be the best me I can be for all of you. I want to be able to speak without going, every 5 seconds, which I keep catching myself doing. I'm trying to mentally, consciously suppress every time I say, and I'm just losing that fight. It's very hard for me to do so. And it's partly because I speak too fast. Because my brain moves faster, or rather my mouth moves faster than my brain, that's when I get into trouble and I start thinking about the silence, and I'm like, oh god, I can't have silence. Say, to make sure people know I'm still here. Which is just silly. You know I'm still here. You're watching the video. Alright, we got some vengeance there, bumwiggles. You almost had some problems, but at least you took the win there. Still gotta work on your speed, buddy. At least once we get you to the C class here, I think you've clinched it, but if we can get you to the C class, we can put you on the speed course. Ugh, I have a headache. It must be cloudy. Or something. I don't know what it is, man. I've just been so tired. This is episode 3 of the recording session. I might only do one more. Or maybe I think I'll just take a break after this one. This sucks. I hate not having momentum, and I hate just having to stop. Oh, all my plans today have been ruined. I was going to play some Factorio with the Akamura, and that didn't happen because she has a headache, and I've been too tired, and now I was going to get some work done and record, and now I've got a headache for that, and I can't... Meh. Why can't life just be perfect all the time? Damn it. Ow. It's your fault, Whirl. It's your fault I've got a headache. Oh, fuck you. He's breaking RNG. Like, he's hitting way too much for his percentage. That's okay. Yep, you're hitting way too much for your percentage, you saucy little bastard. Again! That doesn't look like a punch. That looks more like a little kick, but I'll take it. Ah, shit, I don't know why I cracked myself up. I could be having a headache, actually, because of caffeine. I hadn't thought about that. I haven't had a drop of caffeine all day. Because remember, soda is my big vice. Like, it's... For me, I will drink soda like people will smoke or drink alcohol. Like, it's my big vice. It is what it is. I know it's not healthy. I know it's just making me fat, and it may or may not contribute to, like, say, diabetes later in my life. I get it. You shouldn't have that much sugar. I get it. I understand how fucking obnoxiously bad soda is for you. But I love it too much, and I keep drinking it. So, when I don't drink it, and especially when I switch from, say, Pepsi to something that has no caffeine, like the Frost Top root beer I'm currently drinking, hashtag not sponsored, I just get a splitting fucking headache. In fact, usually the worst I ever feel is if I drink, say, Mountain Dew for about a month and then quit cold turkey. Oh man, the headache is fucking awful. And then I smell bad. Like, I don't know if it's directly related to the sudden change of what I'm intaking in my body, but whatever the reason, oh boy do I start smelling awful when I quit soda cold turkey. Although I usually lose weight. Anyway, my point is, I've got a really bad headache. I just want to lie down. And those of you who have been friends and fans of the channel for a while, well, you've got a command on the Discord to, my god, you're so cute. Command on the Discord to beat me with a spoon if I talk down to myself, so I need to take care of my health, right? Because not only do I want to be the very best me I can be for you, but part of that is that I also have to be around. So, you know, I need to take care of myself. Here, go on the speed course. Even though you're the money-making... I am gonna hate switching back to Monster Rancher 2 and losing these animations. I love them so much. It's so cute. Isn't that right, Bumwiggles? You're so cute. Hopefully he at least breaks 200 here. Break 200. Damn it, Bumwiggles. But he got a technique, so yay. Alright, so that's going to do it for today. I may or may not record. I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to take a small break. I'll finish up the recording session tomorrow. Hopefully this headache goes away by then. Alright, so yeah, that'll do it for today either way. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow for another episode, hopefully without a headache.